Hello, Chris here with another Indomitus box unboxing type of video. I mentioned in the unboxing that I was going to look through the rulebook, and so here we go. Here I'm going to read through some of the book. Not read through, but we're going to venture through this book together and share some of my ideas and thoughts and, just general feelings about the book. Right off the hop, in the unboxing video, I mentioned that this thing is a pretty darn substantially sized book. A lot going on. The core rule books tend to be, a starting off point for anybody who's really new to Warhammer 40,000 to give them the basic gist of everything that is going on. And with so much within Warhammer 40,000, it really does take a book, because I mean, half of this book, as far as I can see, is just background material, and to really immerse people into, or just kind of really dipping their toe into the universe, it requires this size of a book, because as all the codexes and everything like that, I mean, is easily, double this, triple this, right? So there's so much background material to Warhammer 40,000, not even mentioning all the novels, graphic novels, comics, and all this other media stuff that describes the universe of Warhammer 40,000. Anybody who's really just kind of getting into this universe, I would highly recommend scaring up a copy of one of these books. And even some of the older books have some insights as well, as a lot of the universe has stayed pretty consistent throughout the decades that this game has been around. There are some key features that have changed as narrative elements change, and of course who's villains, who's not, and all these other things. And of course, 10, 15 years down the road, things could change as well. And, is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. Again, it evolves and changes and reflects the times that it's in. As pretty much it did back in 87, I do believe, was when the game came out. And the game is not the same game it was back then, and it has changed and evolved. And of course, the core rulebook will change and evolve as the times do as well. So, I think that's really fantastic. One thing I did want to read here before we kind of start flipping through is, obviously the rulebook, really nice print quality, and Warhammer 40,000 Indomitus. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind. By the might of his inexhaustible armies, 1,000,000 worlds stand against the dark. Yet he is a rotting carcass, the carrion lord of the Imperium, held in life by marvels from the dark age of technology, and 1,000 souls sacrificed each day so his may continue to burn. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billion. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. It is to suffer an eternity of carnage and slaughter. It is to have cries of anguish and sorrow drowned by thirsting laughter of dark gods. This is a dark and terrible era where you will find little comfort or hope. Forget the power of technology and science. Forget the promise of progress and advancement. Forget any notion of common humanity or compassion. There is no peace amongst the stars, for in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. That's a little grim, ain't it? But anybody who's brand new to this universe, that is, that's kind of an introduction to what you're going to get, jumping into Warhammer 40,000. It's a dark universe. It's not a friendly place, and it can be quite scary, I suppose, because as some describe, there are 1,000,000 horrors waiting for humanity around every corner. Eldar, Tyranids, Necrons, orcs everywhere, the infestation of orcs, all sorts of stuff. I have not really had a look through this book yet, so you're going to be seeing stuff for the first time as I'm seeing it, and I'm just going to share some of my thoughts as we kind of quickly work our way through. I don't want this video to be terribly long, but for those of you out there, this video might run a little bit long. All right, here we go. Let's have a look at this book. So, again, with the unboxing, I had displayed, really quickly the size of this thing and the weight and just, the absolute glory of this book. So here, Indomitus. Lengthy table of contents. Warhammer 40,000, the hobby itself. Obviously, this book is geared towards people who are brand new to this hobby. Of course, it goes over sections of the Dark Imperium, Saga Imperialis, Warriors of the Emperor, the Lost and the Damned, Xenos Invaders, and then of course it goes into rules once we hit about page 192. It also covers open play, matched play, narrative play, and of course the rules appendix. So awesome stuff there. And of course, it gives you, an overview of the hobby itself. And of course, we get beautiful pictures of, obviously, battlefields and tabletop setup and just all sorts of fun stuff. It gives you a quick little guide about the collecting. And of course, they give you pictures of like the models you're going to get inside this box set. Obviously, just to get you pumped up. Of course, you got to throw in some nice bright colored Eldar. Of course, it gives you everything about, making armies and building worlds, and obviously just appealing to everybody's fantasies about sci-fi universes and such. Quick overview of the hobby itself as far as building and painting the models. Really cool. Of course, quick little advertisement for Warhammer community to help you with your hobbying needs. It's giving us a quick overview of the gaming situation, the playing the game, tape measures, and different various ways of playing the game, match play and narrative play. Of course, the two people here in the book seem to be pretty darn happy with their gaming experience. Of course, I don't think they would show anybody in the book that wasn't having fun, right? It's like, oh, I'm not having fun. I just don't want to. I don't want to play the game anymore. I mean, that's just some crap advertising, right? Dark Imperium. Want to see the galaxy? Do you, troopers? See what you've been missing. You'll have your eyes open soon enough, and then you'll wish to the throne you hadn't. The galaxy is death. It is war and fire, faith and blood and pain. You've missed only hardship and suffering in the service of mankind. But fear not, we'll make martyrs of you yet. Colonel Ironhand Strachan. Strachan? Of course, it's a picture of Space Marines, though, with this Imperial Guard quote, but, whatever. Oh, it's even got a fold-out thingy. Oh, it gives you a little map. Look at that. Little map of the... So it got that? Oh, yeah, look at that. Gives you an idea of what the whole galaxy is like. Pretty darn cool. I like these little fold-out thingies. These are fun. Honestly, I'd probably pick one up if this was available as an art print. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about in this video too, is the artwork, because it seems like, in previous editions of the book, like the core rulebook and, codexes and stuff like that often a lot of the art gets recycled. And I mean, you can fully expect that in this book as well, but there's some artwork in here that I am not familiar with, which I find very, very interesting, which is why I was kind of looking forward to doing this little video with you all. The Imperium Sanctus. Yeah, I've not read through this book yet. The Imperium Nihilus? Ooh, look at that. Dark Eldar flying around, little Imperial, what are these, the old Imperial tarantulas or something? Because it looks like a bunker. Hey, aren't they, the little Imperial Guardsmen sitting there. Isn't this something coming out soon that is that Imperial bunker? The Emperor of Mankind, to get everybody into, obviously, the whole vibe of everything would become of Earth in 40,000 years. We even like how they incorporated little sayings along the side of the book again. That is pretty cool. Lots of pretty art. Again, like I said, a lot of these images I'm not familiar with. Now, mind you, I have, in the last year or so, I have not been keeping up with the codexes and such. which is something I plan on rectifying over the coming years. But yeah, look at that. I guess that's the Emperor sitting in. Reminds me of Clash of the Titans, the original one, when he has all the little clay statues. Anybody remembers that one? I don't know. Angels of Death, the Space Marines themselves, the main guys of Warhammer 40,000, the poster childs, if you will, children. I know English. This is a lot of fun. Sisters of Battle, Warriors of Faith. Yeah, I like how they got these little sayings written down the side. What does that say? No agony is big enough to conquer the galaxy, but faith alone can overturn the universe. Very cool. I like that. That's fun. Old rule books used to do that kind of thing. They had the little sayings down the sides and, little snippets here and there. The Inquisition. Perils Unknown. Yeah, see, like some of this artwork I'm not familiar with. So this is pretty darn interesting. I like the page layouts. I like this different art style they got going on here. This almost feels like it could almost be an art book. That's how it feels. Is that this could be an art book? The Dark Gods. Look at that. Bet you can't guess which gods all those are. Bet you can't guess. The Saga Imperialis. The Emperor's realm is a fortress forged of blood and bone, of fire and iron and courage and hate. Its walls are the corpses of martyrs beyond count. Carrion mountains rise like foothills above them, the last remnants of myriad foes mingling with the dust of time itself. Neither can fell this endless edifice. What? Neither can fell this endless edifice. The Imperium stands eternal. Chaplain Grimaldus of the Black Templars. Yeah, I really like these art. I think this was from the Apocalypse, wasn't it? This bit? Wasn't that the Apocalypse? Age of Mankind gives you a rundown of the, let's get this ribbon out of here. The timeline of Warhammer 40,000. Ooh, look at that. Titans, Mechanicus. Look, there's even spaceships in the atmosphere. Holy cramoles. Remnants of a Dark Age. Legacy of Strife. Yeah, this is really fun. I like these. These are handwritten kind of looking things. I like that. That's a nice little touch. And definitely this has more of a, dark feeling. It almost looks like we're reading it from like a data slate or, a display or something like that. And we're getting these little pictograph kind of, images. And, they're just, just basically just getting you into this whole universe. Yeah, this is really darn cool. The Age of Imperium. Yeah, like I said, see that I've seen this piece here before. Like I said, there's a lot of the art, I'm sure gets recycled through many, many books, but some of this stuff I had never seen before, and some of them would just be great art prints to have on your wall within your hobby room, Really nice layout. I like, it's a bit of a minimal approach. Obviously, you have a lot of, wasted surface, but it allows obviously for the fold, and so when the print is kind of in the center of the page, it's a little bit easier. And of course, the text is actually the print is quite small. I like this layout. Does the book need to be this big? Nah, not really, but it was an aesthetics choice, right? The Gathering Storm. I like that piece too. Reboot Gilliman. Reboot. Ooh, the man. It's got Sisters of Battle, fighting demons. Looks like Slanesh and Chaos Warriors. Got all sorts of craziness going on here. And I imagine too, a lot of this artwork shows up in a lot of the codexes as well. Age of the Dark Imperium. I think that's pretty much where we're at now. Like I said, I have not read through this book yet. This is actually the first time I'm looking through this stuff as well. So, yeah. The Age of Witches. Warriors of the Emperor. It is by the grace of the God Emperor that you exist. Your life is his to command. Why, then, should your death be any different? So take up your weapons, servants of the Emperor, and rejoice, for through this may prove your last day. You know now that this is only because the Emperor wills it so. Frater Militant Albray in his address to the Cadian 84th. We got the Cadians and Titans. Again, it's all about, the mass battles and such, right? Ooh, I like that piece too. Oh, they're fighting Tau. That's cool. Armies of the Imperium. And of course, we got the Adeptus Astartes. Got all this fantastic armor. Ooh, we got all the chapters here, all arrayed. Crimson Fists, one of my favorite. Howling Griffins, close second. If I'm, taking favorites. The Death Watch, Grey Knights. These are all Space Marine sort of duders. Adeptus Sciorta. Warzone Pariah. Interesting. I like when they provide these little campaign maps and it gives you context within the universe of what's going on. I like that kind of stuff. Adeptus Custodes. These are supposed to be the guys watching the Emperor's back as he's chilling on his chair. This is a classic bit of art. I like that. Astra Militarum. The Imperial Guard. Adeptus Mechanicus. Warzone Armageddon. Yeah, see, I like these little things. They just give you like a little bit of background, and again, it's all to immerse you into, obviously, the universe itself and get you into, the narrative aspects of it all, and yeah. Quaestor Imperialis, the Imperial Knights. Imperial Agents. We got the Sisters of Silence, Officio Assassorium, and Rogue Traders. More pretty pictures. Yeah, I like this little turret thingy. That's fun. Ooh, look at this Necron-y thing. What's this Necron-y thing in the background? Don't know. Oh, there's that bunker. Lots of pretty pictures of the models. Really fantastic stuff. This kind of stuff, when I was, first getting into this hobby, this is the kind of stuff that really got me into the game. Seeing these, like the tables set up, and it always inspired to make the terrain, make the battlefields, and again, because Warhammer 40,000, the tabletop, is such a visual and tactile experience that you really want to do it justice by at least playing with painted armies on, decent terrain and, just really, soak it all in, because, you get into the big apocalypse-sized stuff like this, it's like you have huge collections and, you want to see it all on the tabletop. You're imagining these grand battles that you see in the artwork, right? Mechanicus, all these interesting little models for the Mechanicus. The Titans. The Lost and the Damned. Cast down the idols. Destroy the temples. Slay the priest. Show these fools that they worship nothing more than a rotting corpse. Dark Apostle. Harzan of the Wordbearers. Cool. Pretty harsh. Some pretty harsh language out of the game. Forces of Chaos. Heretic Astartes, obviously the chaos, obviously the Marines that have fallen to chaos. Chaos being obviously the evil humans. And in Star Trek, when they cross over into the mirror universe, they're automatically evil. Well, apparently Chaos is the mirror universe of the Imperium. The Traitor Legions. Renegades. Renegades are Marines of the time turning to Chaos, versus the legions being from the time when obviously the Civil War began. Warzone Vigilus, the campaign books, to give you an idea of like all the factions that were fighting. The Death Guard, Thousand Suns, Chaos Demons, the legions of the dark gods. And of course, when you worship the dark gods, you get access to having demons on your side, right? Because, you know, membership has its privileges, right? So, the dark or chaos knights, honor through annihilation. Interesting. Scourge stars, honor through annihilation. What the heck? Lots of pretty pictures of chaos factions. I just love all this stuff. It's fantastic. And imagine how long it takes them to set all these pictures up and take all these pretty pictures and then go through and edit them all. And, then of course somebody was there, him and hawing which photo should go where. I don't feel it balances well with the whole layout and all these things, right? Oh, look at all the demons. The demons. Demons. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Chaos Knights. Of course, if the Imperium has knights, Chaos has knights. The Xenos invaders. They came from the dark places between the stars, from the abyss into which even the Emperor's angels fear to gaze. Monstrous in form, endless in number, the swarm descends to devour all. Anonymous, I guess. The Xenos threat. Looks like some Eldar fighting Tyranids. Craftworld Eldari, children of Assyrian. It's the faction I play. I like Craftworld Eldar. The Drukari, raiders from the Dark City. If you can have good humans and bad humans, you can have good elves and dark and bad elves. Harlequins, Yanari. Gives you like a slight little overview of all the things. More campaign. Very, very cool. I'm actually looking forward to reading a lot of this here. Necrons. This is the other faction that comes in the box set. Orcs. These guys went from being very comical and being a bit of a comic relief in the game to being pretty serious and pretty menacing. The Tau Empire. Here's basically where you have a bit of debate as to who are the good guys, and honestly, I don't think Tau really are good guys, but they're not quite as bad as others. Oh, they're robots. The Tyranids, the Great Devourer. Yeah. Gene Stealer cults. Yep, we got Gene Stealer cults. I like all that artwork. That's cool. Like I said, a lot of this artwork I've not seen. Some pretty pictures of the Eldar models. I often do like looking at these setups of the models and everything like that, just because sometimes, you look for little Easter eggs, something that isn't yet released yet, and sometimes, you might spot it in a background photo and, might be hiding off in a corner somewhere. Again, it's all Easter eggs. It's all fun. It all, keeps you guessing. I think that's a big component of all this. Really, really fun. Ooh, look at all the Necrons. Very, very cool. Got some Orkies. Dang, he's huge. He's almost as big as that Stompa. Orcs only get one page. Tau get at least. Tyranids. This is pretty darn cool, though. Yeah, I like all this stuff. Like, I have not had a real look at all the other. Geez, we already gone through 192 pages. We're into the rules now. No manual can truly prepare you for the horrors of battle. When the bullets and last bolts begin to fly, and the roar of flames mingles with the screams of the dying, and the air fills with the blood and boiling smoke. No text or primer will aid you. In such hours, the Emperor alone will be your guide, and faith your only salvation. Uriah Jacobus. Yeah, he's an Imperial character. I don't know if he's still a character these days, but yeah. And so here we are into the rules sections of the book. And of course, these are available for free. so you can pretty much, learn to play the game for free. Although here I do believe it gives you a bit more explanation into things. You know, talk about rerolls again. The page layout is kind of nice. I like, it takes up a bit more space than what the other ones were taking up. Well, I guess it's kind of the same. I guess about an inch border around the page. Not that these kind of things really matter to me, but it is interesting. Yeah. Some of them, I mean, like, yeah, they're pretty blank. Like, you could have fit some imperial quotes or something, or some doodads or something in there, But again, I mean, keep it simple, keep it straightforward, right? It is a pretty minimal layout. But again, the book, it's not really about the rules. It's about, getting you into the whole universe of everything, Warhammer 40,000 and all, the rules and, getting you into this whole universe. And pretty darn cool, though. Again, it's lots of glossy pictures. I think really with a book like this, especially if you're going to, do it in a large format like this, I think little examples would have been pretty nice. When they're talking about, like, say, charging, and the old rulebooks used to do that kind of thing back in the day, have like little examples of what they're talking about, just so that when you're talking about rules, and especially if you're introducing somebody to a game system that they might not be familiar with, or mechanics of a game that they're not familiar with, showing examples of what they're talking about helps. And I know, like, Rogue Trader did it. I know 2nd edition 40K did it. I think even 3rd edition 40K did it, where there's little examples of what they're talking about. Like, as far as like coherency, like they're talking about coherency here on this page. It'd be nice if there was an visual example of what they're talking about, and because somebody who's brand new to this is going to be, well, what do they mean by this and that? And it raises more questions than answers any. And especially since this is such a large format of a book, like, they could have fit that kind of stuff in. I think that'd be very helpful for people. Again, because, this is a very visual medium, and, with the painting and the terrain and playing the game, and, it's all very visual. And so I think, a lot of the players are very visual, and given examples of, what they're talking about as far as what the rules are trying to describe, I think would be very helpful for a lot of people. Go into the missions, objective markers. Oh, yeah, only war. Building an army, power ratings versus point values, or power ratings and point values, I should say. Elliot Harmer's Dark Angels. Ooh, look at that. They look glossy green. Ooh, Chris likes some glossy Marines. The photo of this fella in the book, it looks like they did like an HDR type thing. If you're not familiar with HDR photography, it's sometimes not very flattering. I'm not saying that he looks bad, but I'm just saying it's not flattering. Battle forged armies. Very, very cool. Showing you how to set up your armies. Ooh, look at that. All the different attachments. Again, I have not looked through this book yet. Yeah, see? Matt Hudson. Yeah, I think they did like an HDR thing on their profile pictures here. Because I think like it's like there's a lot of detail in the photo, and you could see every crease and nook and cranny on their faces, which is kind of funny. Going over strategic reserves, actions, terrain features. Yeah, this is really cool. Oh, the different rules for your terrain. Yeah, see, like I'm talking, like this is the kind of thing, right, where you need to show people, how to assign rules to particular features and what they're talking about. It's a visual example, right? So like number 5 is woods. Well, I mean, that might seem obvious, but I mean, there's other features that might fall within the category of woods that you want to have count as woods, or have the rules of woods, but it's an alien world, and it looks really crazy, and so yeah. Pictures of battlefields. Obviously these are kind of out of the box, like You know, you can buy all this terrain and buy the mat and, you know, slap it down and, you know, you're ready to rock. I like this piece. And spoiler alert for anybody who's made it this far into the video, I'm probably going to pick this up. But yeah, open play, very, very cool. All the things for open play, which is, you know, just pick up and, you know, and play, really. It's not the same as like match play. Match play is, you know, where you're concerned with point values. And, you know, when you go to like a pick up and play game at your local friendly gaming store, you know, to, you know, just have a game for an afternoon kind of thing. But you want to, you know, have a fair game. Unless, of course, you know, you already know who you're playing and what you're playing, and, you know, and you can design a game around that, or, you know, things like that nature. But, yeah, secondary objectives. Again, I have not read through this book at all. So I'm going through this at the same time as some of you out there who are following along in this video. I mean, the rules are, like, this is very familiar stuff. I like that the mission has a full page. I like that. Makes it nice and clear. The one thing I would say, though, is I kind of wish that it had more of these ribbons. And in fact, if it had different colored ribbons, you know, so like if I wanted black for the rules and I wanted blue for the missions, and you know what I mean? Like, it'd be nice if they had multiple ribbons in these things. But, you know, I digress. I mean, also, as well, like, this book is pretty big and clunky, and, you know, for regular gamers, a lot of them prefer, you know, the condensed, smaller rule sets. Of course, there is an app coming out for Android and iOS devices, and, yeah, that'll be exciting when that comes out. As of recording this, the app isn't out. Narrative play. It's a really fun one. This is where, you know, pretty much anything goes. You let your imagination run wild within this format. Sam Pearson's Gene Stealer Cults. Very, very cool. Yeah. Again, when you go flipping through these books and you're looking at all these images, I mean, like, I want to play. And, you know, I enjoy painting, but I also enjoy gaming. Does it even have, like, a campaign system in here? I didn't even notice. I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, look at this, requisitions and stuff. Oh. Okay, battle honors. Here we go. Yeah, this is kind of a campaign thing. Yeah. Right, because you get experience points. Ah, here we go. So, yeah, that little campaign system for you. Very, very cool. Well, this is where, like, narrative play really kind of shines in Warhammer 40,000. And in fact, Rogue Trader really was more of this kind of game system of generating experience points and creating narrative play. Rogue Trader really, it became a really fun game when you had a GM directing the narrative of the battle and kind of making sense of what was going on, and, you know, just, you know, that those kind of things, they just draw you into the game. If anybody who's played any role playing, the Rogue Trader Warhammer 40,000, the first edition of it, it was closer to a role playing game than it was, you know, you know, dice and, you know, such kind of game. I mean, it had lots of dice. It had very many dice and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, selecting a crusade army. Oh, look at that. I take it we have permission to, yeah, we have permission to photocopy for personal use. So personal use, people. Don't forget, personal use. Really cool. I like all the artwork. So many great pieces. Crusade mission pack. Oh, look at that. So many different ways to play Warhammer 40,000. And again, you know, realistically, you know, you're only limited by your imagination as far as how to play this game. Man, so much missions. Like, you know, like, and the thing is like, way back in the day, people would always play just straight up pick up in battle, and okay, we're gonna play 1,500 points, and we're just gonna kill each other, last man standing kind of thing. And a lot of people used to play that way, and nobody played the missions. And I think when I see a lot of people talk about, oh, I'm getting bored of Warhammer, and, you know, it's because they're not playing missions and they're not varying up the gameplay at all. and you know, you really got to mix it up to keep it going, or get it, you know, start a campaign, or you know, just make up a scenario, and you know, something that feels kind of sort of balanced, you know, because even making up a game, can you imagine, you know, taking a mission, say for example, like something like, say, Saving Private Ryan, where the Americans on D-Day are trying to, you know, make their way into the beachheads, right? Well, what if you did something like that with the, you know, Imperial Guard and Dark Eldar, and you know what I mean? And you had a scenario where the Imperial Guard are just kind of meat to the grinder, and you know, and the Dark Eldar have like unlimited resources, and they're just pouring fire in the Imperial Guard, and you've got to reach the objective. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a bazillion different ways you can go about making missions, and you know, having some fun with this game. And you know, so many people just, I don't think, are having fun with this game, and you just gotta have fun. Rules Appendix. Praise be to the artificers of war. Praise be to their, what is that, clangorous? What the hell's clangorous? Anyway, clangorous hammers and ringing anvils, their thundering forges and their sparking tools. Praise be to the blades and the guns and the engines of war, into which they breathe wrathful life. Emperor's blessing upon them. Praise be, praise be, praise be. The chant of Auto Sanctus Manufactorum. Manufacturum? And we got some commentary. We got some, oh, okay, I see. Weapons that obviously follow, like blast weapons, things that are aircraft, some rare rules coverings. Ah, this is actually very helpful. This is actually quite a few pages of this. Rules, terms, glossaries. Here we go, a glossary. I don't even know when the last time this was included in a rule set for Warhammer. I honestly don't know. But very, very cool. Oh, here's one of my favorites. You can see the Phantom Titan striding around. You got all sorts of Eldar fighting Khorne demons and stuff. You like, oh, look at that. Tau versus Tyranids. Very, very cool. And of course, we have the Imperium versus somebody. Who knows? And I think that's the end of the book. That's the end of the book. So that is the core rulebook for Warhammer 40,000 Indomitus. Indomitable. And so hopefully you made it to the end of the video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you found this sort of interesting for some of you out there who may not be picking up this book right away, or maybe you have no intention of picking up this book. You're plenty stocked up on your background material for Warhammer 40,000. Again, I think this is something more geared towards brand new people to the hobby, and I think this is an excellent jumping off point for people who are brand spanking new. I would not discourage anybody from buying this or buying special editions of it or whatever's, because, I mean, you know, we all want to enjoy this hobby, and everybody should just, you know, feel free to enjoy and enjoy the aspects of this hobby, be it the background material, the gaming, the painting, whatever, right? And so this is a lot of fun. Again, you whip this at somebody, and this is definitely going to bust some heads, but I don't recommend it. Big thank you to all of you out there for watching. Huge thank you to all my patrons. If you're considering Patreon support, click the link in the description below. And I have varying tiers to support at. And a huge thank you to all my patrons who currently support me. And visit us at waythebrush.com, central hub of all the silliness. I want to thank you guys for watching. And take care of those brushes. They will take care of you. And I will see you guys in the next video. No matter what occurs, I will find you.